Now it's time to check how you can customize your site's appearance. Of course, we've gone over themes earlier and we very lightly went over customizing it. So let's just go over that a little bit further now. So click on the top left, it's going to take us to the front end of the website whilst we're still logged in to, of course, be able to edit it. Now, if we go to customize, and this will differ, of course, depending on what theme you used, because some themes have more options, some themes have less, some have home page builders, so it really depends on your theme. I've kept it on Astra, so it's going to be pretty much the general default one that you're going to start with, and you're going to get a lot of options here of how to customize your site. Let's go first with the global options here. What do we have on this particular theme? So if I click on here, it's going to give me all my options if I want to change any of the typography, and this is going to be globally, so this is going to be throughout the whole website. Maybe I want to change to this font. I can change over here from the font family, the height, text transformation, so whether I want it capitalized, uppercase, none. You can even change such stuff as line height, paragraph margin on the bottom, and again, you might not get all of these options. This might just be, or this in fact is for Astra, so the default option. So your themes will have different varieties. Of course, then you can do your global colors, containers, buttons, what are all of your buttons going to look like on your site. So every time you add another button, you want them all to look round about the same thing. I'll try and go through the general options here, because obviously I don't want to be going through options which you might just not be getting with your theme anyway. So here, the sidebar, this is going to be an important bit. How do you want to lay the sidebar out? And the sidebar, if we go over to blog, is going to be this section here on the right. Pages, do we want any sidebar on the pages? So for instance, homepage, do we want sidebar? Or do we want it just on posts? So I'm going to leave mine as default because we basically have it off the home page, but we do have it on the rest of the pages just so we can display extra information. Blog posts, on your blog page, do you want it? Where do you want it? Do you want it on no sidebar? Do you want left sidebar? Or do you want it at the right, which it is at the moment? So my default's on right, so I'm just going to leave it there. Do you have an archives page of all your posts? And again, you can choose where you want the sidebar. So I'm going to keep my sidebar on the right just as the default with all of them. And you can also change your sidebar width. As you can see here, as I drag this along, it's going to make it smaller, it's going to make it larger. So let's just make it around that size, which is a little bit smaller. Again, depending on your theme, you might get a header builder and a footer builder. Let's just go to header builder over here. And this particular theme is going to be in blocks. So your header is going to go along the top of your site. And of course, the footer is going to go along the bottom. So let's just make a quick example here, and you can use buttons just like you would create a page. So I'm just going to add a button here. Let's go ahead and add an account setting there, and let's go to publish just to see what it looks like. As you can see, we now have a little account icon. We have the site title on top of it, we have a button, and of course our primary menu on the right hand side. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the button. I don't really need the button up there, so it's going to look a little bit like that. Of course, you can add pictures, images, or social icons and stuff like that. We can get that all added, and you can basically build your header like that. The same is going to go with the footer. If we come to the footer, it's going to be the same layout on this particular theme. And again, I can just go ahead and I can add stuff. So if we want to add our socials here, we can add another footer menu here, and then we can go to publish just to check it out. Very nice. So that's starting to come along, and you're starting to get the idea of how we can start to build up pages. You need to do the header, and this is going to be a global header. So this will get used on every page. You can do a footer. So all your headers and footers will look the same throughout the site. You can add search bars, you can add different menus or links, you can add pages that you want to link to. You can add a widget area, which means I've now made this a widget area, which means when I go to widgets, which we're going to be coming up to shortly, you can then add a widget in this particular section. So let's just go ahead to publish with that at the moment. So we've done our header and we've done our footer, and you can also shift click this to actually open up the element to choose that, or you can change it as well. An important part of customizing is your site identity. If we click onto here, you can see that we can put our site title and logo settings. So we can add in the logo here. I'm just going to keep on using this same image. Let's just crop this or move this to the size that it's going to prefer. Let's go to crop image, and then that should then going nicely. If we go up to the top, we can see our little image has been moved there. You can change the width of the logo. Again, this is all dependent on your theme and what it allows you to do. You can change the site title here, and also the site icon. This is quite important because your site icons, what it's going to show when people search your domain, will usually show, as you can see there on the right. In fact, if I just move my screen over, you can see there on the top right, that's how it's going to show with my little image there. So let's just crop that image. I would suggest doing like a logo. So if you've got a logo for your site, use that so people know whenever they search your site, it's going to come up with that, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, of course it's that I'm searching for. And it's just more recognition for your site. I'm not going to do widgets at this part because we're going to go widgets in the next section. So let's just go to the home page homepage settings. Now this is going to be pretty much like your reading settings. What's your homepage? What's your blog page? Once you have got pages created, you can select them from here. If you want to create a new page and make it your homepage, you can simply go to add new page and it will do that for you. Or you can go back to the back end of your editor, add a page, and then simply link it up using this or your reading option. So this part is basically to be able to edit the front end of your site, so you can edit the content, you can edit how it shows on your website. It's not so much about creating the content, you do that from the back end, but once you have created it, how are you going to display it? And customizing it is going to be that way. Of course, if you don't want to access it through the front page, you can also go to the back end. You can go over to appearance and you can go to customize, and that will also take you to the same place, which is the front end of your website. So as you're working on it, you get a visual view as well, just to see that you haven't made any mistakes and to be able to edit it quickly and easily.